Hello, I am Endlessness and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, and in this video I like to give you a guide for the floor B26 in the Brawl Tower event. We have fought Nattak already, but this one is significantly harder, and he's weak to wind and uses magic attacks, but he's immune to all statuses and debuffs, so we have to buff our magic defense against him. And he uses fire attacks, so you might want to equip some weapons with fire resistance if you find yourself struggling, because without them you want to have at least 10-11,000 HP, 150 MDF, and high potency magic defense buffs. But at the beginning of the battle, Nattak will inflict Dread Styles on your team, and that will slow down your command stance gauge and will debuff attack of all your characters. But when Nattak will be at 50% HP, he will start a sigil phase, and you need X sigil on all 3 characters. And during this sigil phase, Nattak resists all kind of damage and summons 2 key specters that might poison you if you let them live for too long. We have multiple good options for both physical and magic wind DPS. Yuffie, Zac, Tifa and Seth have very nice physical wind weapons, and Aerith can be a great magic wind DPS as well as Nanaki, and both of them can decrease wind resistance too. But Matt and Aerith are great and versatile healers with defensing buffing abilities, and you could use Matt with Syringe for heals and buffs, and he also has Bramble Spine to nullify and increase physical attack, so that could be very useful here to nullify those attack debuffs inflicted by Nattak. But Aerith has Kamura that buffs magic defense and physical attack at the same time. However, if like me you don't have Kamura, then I can recommend her ultimate weapon that can cleanse the whole party from any attack debuffs, and Aerith's skilled weapon is also another option, as it can nullify attack debuffs on one character of your choice, so if you do it 3 times everyone will be cleansed. But Barret can also be a very nice support if you are using magic wind DPS, as he can buff magic attack with micro laser, but he has no magic defense weapon, so you would need to equip it on someone else. But I'm using Cloud, Sephiroth and Aerith. And Aerith is my healer, Sephiroth is my only wind DPS, and Cloud is a support and DPS. And because I have no Kamura or ultimate weapon for Aerith, that means Cloud's attack will be fully debuffed for the entirety of the battle. But as I mentioned, Aerith has both ultimate weapon and guild weapon that can nullify those attack debuffs. I also have many equipment slots empty, and I only brought the necessary equipment, but you should equip all the best materia and weapons that will boost your stats the most. Aerith has Bahamut set with Breath of the Earth, Limit Break, Floor 1 to debuff wind resistance, as well as Esuna Poison or Esuna Slot, X Sigil, and then in sub-equipment slots Aerith has Syringe for HP, Silver Color for heal, and guild weapon with magic defense for all allies. And as I previously mentioned already, Aerith's guild weapon as well as ultimate weapon can nullify attack debuffs that Nattak will inflict on your entire team. So if you don't have self-buffing wind weapons and don't use Baha Cloud, I highly recommend equipping one of these. Cloud has Bahamut set with Blade Beam, but you can use any other Limit Break, Bahamut Greatsword for DPS and Bandit Sword to buff magic defense, Ultimate Buster, X Sigil, and in sub-equipment slots Cloud only has a weapon with buff debuff extension. Lastly, Seth has Wind Mastery outfit with Astral Gate, Dark Havens for wind DPS and Shinra Sword for wind buffs, X Sigil, Genji, and in sub-equipment slots he only has wind weapon for HP. If you have Sephiroth with Shinra Blade, as soon as you get 3 EB immediately use it, because this osmosis nullifies that EB that you just had, so you lose it. But Curse of the Gi, it inflicts that Dread Style, so it nullifies your command stance gauge, but also debuffs attack of your entire team, so now you just have to start recovering, but also until you get rid of that Dreads dies, I don't recommend switching to defense unless you really have to. But for now, we just have some time to start doing some DPS. But also with Aerith, without switching to defense, just keep healing to get everyone back to full HP. Because soon enough, we will need to start buffing magic defense. This first mana breach, don't worry about it. It's just one fire attack. But the next one, it'll be a charge attack, very powerful. But also if you have Genji, then of course use it. It's amazing for substantially increased DPS here. But it's also, yeah, here comes the Soulfire, and here you want to pay attention to magic defense, because he also debuffs magic defense while charging this attack, and it's really powerful. So ideally you want to have the targeted character at high potency magic defense before they get hit. And now with Aerith or healer start recovering. And we are also very close to max stans, so that will be very helpful. But also, as soon as you get your limit breaks or summons, you can use them. You don't need to save them. I just don't use them for the guide here. But also, by the way, I find Bahamut's sword crazy because Cloud is he is fully debuffed. He also has no DPS weapons and he's doing almost the same damage as Sephiroth. He was also missing equipment, but still. One is debuffed, one is buffed, and that's the whole almost same damage. But here comes another same attack, so Soulfire, and here you also want to pay attention to magic defense. Because in my case now it's Sephiroth, so just pay attention to him, because he will get, his magic defense will get debuffed twice. And you need that magic defense, because otherwise the Soulfire hurts a lot. And we should be good. And now, because he is a little bit below 50% HP, because he was charging attack, so I had a little bit more time to inflict some more DPS on him, damage. So 50% HP or below, you always get that sigil phase. It's not hard because at that time you already have max stans, so you always break 3 sigils, or if you have any sigil boost then it's 5. But those key specters, beware of them, because they already started to poison my characters, and as long as they live, they will keep poisoning those characters. So if you can, get rid of them as quickly as possible. I won't be able to heal Gin attack before his next attack. That's another Soulfire, but this time it's AoE, so everyone gets targeted by it. And he also gets hit while he is charging, so be careful. And we should be fine. But here, of course, you can recover, but I'm gonna use Breath of the Earth. You could use the Healing Wind instead, so you have some regen. But I think that this one's also fine in case you also want to nullify any defensive debuffs. But if, like me, those key specters are still alive, pay attention to your characters, because they do keep poisoning my character. So this poison, it hurts quite a lot, so they also inflict damage on you, so pay attention to that so they don't accidentally die. But yeah, that's the whole battle. I think that was the best version of Nattak, because we had some easier versions. I think he was once in the dungeon and that extra section, which was way too easy, at least for me, even though I was just using Nanaki, I think, or Aerith as DPS, but still, I quite enjoyed this battle. But I hope you found this guide helpful, and thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next one.